probably going to be like a C-. Ronus's Stalwart. It's a 2-mana 2/2 human warrior, 1 and a green for a 2/2. A human warrior common. You may exert Ronus's Stalwart as it attacks. When you do, it gets +1/+1 until end of turn. And Daunt, which is can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less this turn. I like this card a lot. Hits hard, costs 2, has 2 power, has 2 toughness. You know I like my bears. Yep, I like this card. I think this card is probably going to be a C+. It's aggressive and does everything that you want it to do. Sidewinder Naga, 2 and a green, 3/2, Naga Warrior, common. As long as you have a desert or there's a desert in your graveyard, has +1/+0 and has trample. I do want to have a desert for this card because a 4/2 with trample for 3 is really nice. That said, a 3/2 for 3 is also not horrible. With a desert, this becomes exceptionally good, and without a desert, I think this is still probably something like a C. Without a desert, it's a C, and then with a desert, it's more like a C+. Sifter Worm, 5 green, so 7 for a uncommon worm. It's a 7/7. It's got trample, and when it enters the battlefield, scry 3, then reveal the top card of your library. You gain life equal to that card's converted mana cost. So, what to say about Sifter Worm? It's a 7/7 for 7, which is on rate. It's got trample, which is great, and then it gains you a lot of life. If you get to the point of the game where you ramp up to the point where you're able to cast this card, you're going to stabilize very quickly. I like this card a lot. And, you know, with cards like this, it actually does make the ramp cards a bit more reasonable. So consider that when you're taking your early Sifter Worms and things like that, that you do want to be able to get these out a little earlier. But I do like this. This is a good card. It's really good at stabilizing, and it's really good at everything else. I will give this a B-. Tenacious Hunter, 2 green for a 4/4 crocodile good boy. It is a uncommon. So, and it has a minus, as long as a creature that either you or an opponent controls has a -1/-1 counter on it. It has Vigilance and Death Touch. This card is bonkers. And yeah, this card's crazy. So it's a 4/4, and then as long as the creature has -1/-1 counter on Vigilance and Death Touch. Oh, that's just upside. I'm good to play a 4/4 for 4, and then when my 4/4 for 4 has Vigilance and Death Touch, I'm really happy. There's no downside to this card. This is a solid B-. I'll play it 100% of green decks, and it just gets better when you have -1/-1 counters. Uncage the Menagerie. X green for a sorcery at Mythic Rare. Search your library for X creature cards with different names that have convert mana cost X. Reveal them, put them in your hand, then shuffle your library. So, just to be clear, I'm sure everyone knows how this card works, but if you want a 1/1, you can get 1/1/1 for 3 mana. You get 2 2/2s for 4 mana. You can get 3 3/3s for 5 mana. You can get 0 0/0s for 2 mana. So this card scales crazily. I actually like this card a lot, and I think it will be very good. For 5 mana, putting 3 3/3s and putting 3 cost, you know, I said 2 2s and 3 3s. Apologies for that. Getting 3 cost minions, creatures. Now I'm thinking about Hearthstone. I'm very tired. Okay, let me collect my thoughts. Putting 3 cost creatures in your hand for 5 mana is very good. And then it scales really well. But mostly I just think, you know, when you're casting this for 4 or for 3, and you're just trying to get, peak density of creatures, I think it's really useful. This isn't Court of Calling, and this isn't, like, Green Sun Zenith, but I think this is a really strong tutor. A lot of people were comparing it to those cards. Also, this isn't Collected Company either. It's Sorcery Speed. But I do think that 5 mana to a 5 mana draw 3 is a good card. Especially when you're drawing 3 creatures and you're not drawing 3 lands. So a 5 mana draw 3 is good. A 4 mana draw 2 is pretty good, especially when you're not drawing blanks. So there are deck building considerations to take into account here, but I think you can get past those and turn this into a good card. All right, green seems strong. I'll just say that. Multicolored. We're nearing the end here. Bloodwater Entity, 1 blue-red, for a 1 blue-red for a 2/2 with flying and prowess. And when it enters the battlefield, put target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard on top of your library. I mean, any blue-red deck is going to play this. And when you do have it, it's good. Unlike Enigma Drake, it's not game-winning, but any blue-red deck wants this, as I've said. So, this is probably like a B minus, something like that. You really want to be in blue-red already, but once you're in blue-red, you're very excited to take this card, I think. Especially with the strength of red removal in this format, I think it makes a really, really big difference. When you are open firing something, Bloodwater Entity, get back your open fire, and then being able to open fire something again the next turn. If this card is actually significantly stronger because of how good red removal is. But I do think this is a pretty good card, and yeah, I'm gonna go with B minus on this one. The Locust God. Oh boy. But now we get to talk about the gods, which I'm very excited to talk about. 4 blue-red, 4/4 flying, mythic rare, god. Whenever you draw a card, make a 1/1. Insect with flying and haste. 2 blue-red, draw a card, discard a card, and when it dies, put it back in your hand. Oh boy! Okay, so let's talk about the gods. They're all crazy. They're all ridiculously good. Some of the gods in Amonkhet were not actually worth taking in draft. But you're not falling into those categories with this. With this, also, with these gods, splashing is also kind of reasonable because they cost a lot. So you have a lot of time to get your mana to where it needs to be. So yeah, I think but whatever. If you get the Locust God, you're lucky. It's a 4/4 flyer for 6. Already playable. And then it makes more stuff and it gives you card advantage. It's just good. Yeah. I mean, I guess you have to tie yourself to 2 colors, so A minus, right? But I mean, yeah, the fact that you have to tie yourself to colors, I guess, makes it a little worse, but this is still like an A or an A minus, and spoiler alert, most of the gods are, but this one especially, this one doesn't give you, so much of an advantage, but, it's still a 4/4 flyer that makes flyers, and, yeah, A minus. Nicol Bolas, God Pharaoh. 4 blue, black, red. I'm not going to read all these abilities. Here's what it is. It's Nicol Bolas. Okay? If you can get to the Grixis, and yes, I think you should splash for this card if you get it. If you're in blue, black, red, or red, black, or, any combination of the things, I think you should splash for it. And it's ridiculously good. You don't need to read the abilities, just take a quick look at the card, whatever. I think this is a pretty solid A, you know. But you got to be able to cast it. But once you cast it, you're probably gonna, win that game. So, yep. Obelisk Spider. 1 black green for a 1/4 spider, an uncommon with reach. When it deals combat damage to a creature, put a -1/-1 counter on that creature. When you put one or more -1/-1 counters on a creature, each opponent loses 1 life, and you lose, and you gain 1 life. So this has Super Wither. Some people don't realize this at first, but when you block a 2/2 with this, their 2/2 dies. So this card's really good, and then it also gives like the black-green -1/-1 counter decks like a way to grind out. So this is ridiculously good. You want in your black-green decks, yeah, super good. I will give this a B. Resolute Survivors. 1 red, white, 3/3 uncommon human warrior. You may exert it as it attacks. When you exert a creature, Resolute Survivors deals 1 damage to each opponent. You gain 1 life. This to me is just a 3/3 for 3. I don't see it as being any more than that, and I don't really see the drain as that big of a factor. Like, yes, I said that there was drain on this, and that was good, but that was because there was, some other thing that was going on besides you just draining for exerting. I'm not big on this card. I think it's a 3/3 for 3, which is acceptable, but which is good, 3/3 for 3. I like 3 for 3, but I actually do expect a little bit more from these gold cards at this point than what Resolute Survivors is giving. I'm going to give this a C plus because I think in any red white deck it's still going to make the cut, but it's not that good of a card in my opinion. River Hoopu. Green, blue for a 1/3 bird at uncommon. With flying, 3 green and blue. You gain 2 life and draw a card. I love this card. This card is, for so many reasons, so cute. It's adorable, like cute mechanically and cute physically. It's adorable. It's a 1/3 flyer, which is a great blocker. And 3 green, blue. You get to draw a card and gain 2 life, which really is just upside. This is a really good game, really good card for grindy games. This will be exceptionally good in a slower matchup, and I think it's actually a pretty good blocker in a faster matchup. So I like this card a lot, and I'll probably I'm pretty sure you'll play it in any blue and green deck for sure. I'll go ahead and give this one a B minus. I really like it. Samut the Tested. Our other Planeswalker. 2 red green for a 4 loyalty Planeswalker. Mythic rare. +1 gives a creature double strike. -2 deals 2 damage. Divided as you choose among 1 or 2 target creature and players. And -7 search for 2 creatures and Planeswalker, put them on the battlefield and shelf your library. I mean, listen, this isn't as good as Nicol Bolas, but it's a good Planeswalker. In a red-green deck, there's no reason you're not going to play this. It's super good. I think there's a lot of cards you will probably take over it, to be honest. The -2 is good. It does protect itself pretty well. I think this is more like a B plus than an A minus. So I will give this a B plus. The Scarab God. 3 blue black for a 5/5 legendary creature god. Mythic. Mythic and yep, it's a god. Alright, and at the beginning of your upkeep, each opponent loses X life, and you scry X, where X is the number of zombies you control. Which is great even if you have 1 zombie. 2 blue black, exile target creature card from a graveyard, create a token, it's a copy of it, so this is a 4/4 black zombie. This is, in my opinion, probably the best of the cycle. 5 mana for a 5/5 is great. And then if you have 1 zombie, you get to scry X, and they drain them for 1. Well, sorry, you don't drain them, but ping them for 1.